Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Today we're reviewing Riverdance, the animated movie. It's available on Sky Cinema. I'm going to be discussing full spoilers here because I need to. Let the shit show commence. So Riverdance is a new animated movie on Sky Cinema telling a story of a young boy called Keegan who has to protect some river dancing deer from a mythical magical huntsman who wants to get rid of these deer so he can do evil stuff. That's the plot. When I saw the trailer for this movie, I had one reaction, and that realistically was, I think it's fair to say that I was looking to rip this movie a new arsehole before I'd even seen it. It just came across as everything you wouldn't want from a movie in just the trailer. And I was very much excited to tear this thing apart. It sounds like it's going to be an absolute disaster, and I'm all for dissecting disasters. But annoyingly, as the film starts, it's actually quite competently made. I mean, at least in the start it is. The animation is good enough. It's not the best thing you've ever seen. It's not Toy Story 4 bordering on realism sort of levels of animation, but it's not clunky. It moves well enough. You meet a few of the characters and you actually kind of like them. They're not brilliant, but yeah, you can get on board with them. You can't say I'm not fair. But it just turns out that my prediction came a little bit too early. We reach a stage where Keegan's grandfather passes away quite early in the film. It's reasonably touching for the time that you spent with these characters. However, Keegan's grandfather is the one who introduced you to this idea, this absolutely nonsensical idea, that there are magical river dancing deer somewhere in this world and there's a magical huntsman who's coming after them, and Keegan has to keep the lighthouse on to keep the mythical huntsman from getting to the deer. If he gets to the deer, all darkness will commence and waters will dry up, and we don't know why. There is no logic to it. It doesn't make sense. You're right to be confused by what I just said. It's nonsense. If your grandfather actually said that to you, the first thing you would do is call a doctor and have his psyche evaluated. Now, I'm not Irish. I don't know Irish traditions that well, but at the funeral, everyone starts river dancing, but they're all doing it all sort of very sad, and this is all very depressing. Earlier in the movie, they say that river dancing is to celebrate life. This is a funeral. Do you not see the problem there? Maybe Irish people do that, I don't know, but it just doesn't make sense within the information you get here. And it's there on in that the film just basically snorted a whole big bag of cocaine and just said, whatever. We just find ourselves in this whole new movie where there is a side plot of these frogs who have lost one of their 100 tadpoles. So part of this movie is just finding Nemo but with frogs, and it's super inconsistent in how much they check in with these frogs. The sheep start farting and rolling around without any logic or physics behind it or how science actually works. The idea of humour in this movie is to just do a joke, repeat the joke in unison, and then that's funny apparently. You meet a bunch of these magical deer. It's not very clear as to what they are, why they're there, what they're doing. None of their powers as to how they control these rivers and things are explained. They're just a bunch of deer just hanging out in this very bland green landscape. Some of them are Irish because, this is set in Ireland, but then 2 or 3 of them are American. Deer with a visa, I guess. We have a game of kind of hockey, but played with antlers for a solid 10 minutes of this movie. Fucking why? The huntsman does eventually turn up and he tricks Keegan into just sort of not reporting the fact that the huntsman's here, despite the fact that your granddad gave you one very clear piece of advice: don't let the huntsman get the deer. Why are we forgetting that now? The huntsman is incredibly obese. His character design is quite literally a circle. yet he is as agile as a frickin' puma, a master athlete who lives off takeaways apparently. Logical issues again, the huntsman's sails on his boat are antlers. You know, thin wooden things with lots of holes and gaps in them that wind wouldn't get behind or push, but here it does. Of course it does. Out of Keegan's stupidity, he manages to get the main deer killed, and everyone's just kind of like, don't worry Keegs, that's cool. We'll just, you know, crack on. Tomorrow's another day. You definitely betrayed your friends and got somebody murdered. And you were warned to not do it, and it still happened. So, yeah, you kind of just dropped the ball there, Keegan. But don't worry about it, everything turns out all nice and rosy and cushy for everybody. Humour again takes a strange turn. There's suddenly a puberty joke chucked in there, which is like, okay, that hasn't lined up with anything we've had previously. They even have one of those, like, substitute swear words. Oh, sheep. What? Why? Where is this coming from? Why did we just change the humour up to like this sort of pre-teen edgy shit? I don't get what's going on here. And we come out of this mythical, magical land of cocaine and nonsense to go back home, and Keegan gets to be the DJ at a party, and everyone just starts river dancing. What the fuck did I just watch? What part of this made a production company give the green light and say, make this? There's no point to this. There's no rhyme, reason, motivation. It doesn't even feel like a cash grab. It's just kind of exists. I can give some praise to the film though. Like I mentioned previously, the animation isn't bad at all. Animation is fine enough. I am not well versed in animation, but I can only imagine that was either an animator's nightmare or it was a lot of copy and pasting. It's hard to tell really. Riverdance, the animated movie, gets a 1 out of 10. Don't waste your time with this. Don't even put this on to entertain your children. I think your children will struggle to be entertained by this. I don't know who this is for. I don't know the point of it. I can't see anybody getting any enjoyment out of this unless it's a child of like 2 or 3 years of age and they just want pretty colours. Thanks for watching this review. If you could leave a like, comment and subscribe, I look forward to seeing you on the next video.